Thanks very much, Ian. Getting ready for race number 2 of the day for the Britcar Prototype Cup. The grid is set by the results of race 1 for each car, but of course it's the other driver in each car this time. Certainly for the Praga Cup. John Davis gets to race again because he's driving solo. The grid lines up as follows then. Number 18, Idola Motorsport Praga R1 on pole. Ruben Stanislaus takes his first ever pole position, and he will lead the field away alongside the number 77 Mittel Cars car. Scott Mittel will be driving this time. Second row, number 11, the University of Wolverhampton car. That's driven by Shane Kelly, the ex-F3 Cup star, alongside number 14, the Idola Motorsport car of Will Stowell at the wheel this time, making a return after a few years away from racing. Row 3, the Tim Gray car, TGM with private leads, number 4. That's driven by Ben Stone. And number 3, John Davis, starts from the back in his Radical. That's the grid then. It's confirmed for race number 2 for the Britcar Prototype Cup. This will be a 25-minute race. As we saw earlier, the pit stop race coming up at the end of the day, over 50 minutes. And we'll have the starting drivers for that one a little later on. I've just had the starting drivers for the Britcar Trophy race as well, so I will make a note of them in a moment. And while we're doing that, I can hand down to Ian, who caught up with some of our Prototype Cup drivers a little earlier.
Right, everybody, welcome back down to the assembly area. Almost time for the Britcar Prototype Cup race 2. It's another 25-minute race. Don't forget, we've got that 50-minute race coming up. That's the final race of the day. Let's just have a quick look. Now we've got the second driver. So how it works with the Prototype Cup is earlier on we had the race going. With that one, that was Cracker Gonzalez winning that one. Charles Hall coming home in second place. Now, how it works is the drivers who put the fastest lap in qualifying earlier yesterday, they went out in race 1. Now we have the sort of class as the amateur drivers, if you will, so it's a sort of a pro-am category. However, car number 11, the University of Wolverhampton car, has 2 pro drivers in Shane Kelly and Jess Hawkins. Because they're both pros, it means they're going to get a 10-second penalty during that race later on this afternoon in that 50-minute race. Just something to note if we're wondering why that car has taken a particularly long time to get going. So we will have Scott Mittel in the car here now. I wonder if we can just quickly say hello to Scott. Scott, how are you doing? All right?
Yeah, not too bad.
How are you feeling for this one? Are you confident, feeling good? Happy with how Charles did earlier?
Yeah, I was happy. Charles did a really good job. I know he's still sort of crying. He thought he should have won it, and he knows it was a little mistake from himself. But no, I'm excited to have a go here. We had a good setup on Friday. Not quite as good this morning, so we've made a few changes, and we'll go have some fun.
And more importantly, you got the door fixed.
Yeah, door's back in. It was just an easy fix. It just popped out the hinge at the bottom, so a new bush in there. We're all good to go.
Fantastic. Scott, best of luck for the race. Thanks for talking to us. Right, time to get racing. Let's hand over to Dave to take you through the action.
Okay, cars on the grid then for a slightly drier track this time. Hopefully the drivers will be able to see where they're going. There it is, Ruben Stanislaus, who brings the number 18 car up to pole position, the Grenaden descended driver. Began his career down in karting at Buckmore Park, among others. Saw him in the BBC TV documentary Born to Race over the winter, racing with Lewis Apigi in the Praga at Donington Park last year. Let's see how he gets on here. His first ever pole position in the car that won race 1 in the hands of Rodolfo Gonzalez. Starting alongside him is Scott Mittel. He began racing with the 750 Motor Club several years ago, before branching out into constructing his own prototypes and then moving into the Pragas. Mittel cars still providing cars for series such as Sports 1000 and so forth, providing cars to club racers. Second row of the grid, we have the University of Wolverhampton car, Shane Kelly. Very quick indeed in a single-seater. Proved his worth in a Praga last season, taking a couple of wins for the University of Wolverhampton. Second driver for Idola Motorsport alongside him, that's Will Stowell, former European karting star, making a return after a few years away from motorsport. In the number 4 car, we've got Ben Stone. Saw him take a couple of wins last year, so he has experience of Pragas. He should go well here from row 3 in that red number 4 machine. John Davis at the back in the Radical. He'll just be happy to keep it on the island. Had a couple of spins in race 1. Now wait to see whether we'll do 2 green flag laps this time, because of course these drivers qualified in dry conditions yesterday. They weren't out in the first race. This is where John Davis could have an advantage, because he's already raced in these wet conditions. You can see the spray has greatly reduced down the Hanger Straight. Hopefully no foxes on the track this time. A 25-minute race. Big thanks to Lucy Berman from Praga for the driver allocation info. And Scott Mittel make up for Charles Hall's mistake in the first race, where he was heading Rodolfo Gonzalez but slid off at Luffield, and to be content with second place. Ruben Stanislaus with the weight of the world on his shoulders here, looking for his first UK circuit racing victory. Great to see him appear on the BBC over the winter with none other than Sir Lewis Hamilton. I would dearly love to see Sir Lewis race one of these Praga R1s. Maybe someday. See what Praga can do. Already seen a number of celebrity racers, and we've got an ex-Formula 1 test driver out there, Rodolfo Gonzalez, here this weekend. Seen the likes of Jimmy Broadbent, Jessica Hawkins we have there this weekend as well. Plenty of sim racing stars, YouTubers. Made it an all-star category, the Praga Championship last year. Continuing into this year. Start to close up then, ready to take the starts. Great to see if the lights have gone out atop the safety car. John Davis, thankfully not spinning this time at the back. The lights are still on, so we are going to do 2 laps. Understandable, because as we said, these drivers have not yet driven in the wet this weekend. They qualified in the dry yesterday. Right, apologies there, ladies and gents. We are now back live here from Silverstone, here on BARC TV. A few gremlins there, but we can now see that the Britcar Prototype Cup race is well and truly underway, and it is number 11 of Shane Kelly who has the lead. Scott Mittel is in second place, just over 8 seconds down. Opposite of Ruben Stanislaus has dropped down into 4th place with Ben Stone up there in 3rd, and less than a second behind at the end of the previous lap, Scott Mittel. Will Stowell is in 5th position, John Davis further back in the Radical, there he is. So 3 laps completed so far by Shane Kelly, the former F3 Cup star, race winner here at Silverstone with the Praga last season. Again, apologies for a few gremlins there. See how much drier it is though here at Silverstone as we watch the Radical of John Davis. No spins for him so far in this one. Shane Kelly, there is our race leader coming through Village, the Irishman. Taking over from Jess Hawkins. They'll team up later on in race 3, the 50 minutes pit stop race. Shane has done the fastest lap of the race, 2 minutes 22.416. Still fairly close in the midfield at the moment, with Mittel in second place. He was less than a second clear of Ben Stone last time through. They were about 2 seconds clear of Ruben Stanislaus, who's dropped back from his pole position, only his second time racing the Praga, and off goes John Davis. Off he goes. Has he hit the barrier there on the outside? That's at the pit lane entrance for the international pits. I don't think he's hit the barrier. We'll see if he can get going, and he's gone a long way off. There is Shane Kelly, continues to lead for the University of Wolverhampton. If you fancy studying motorsport engineering with them and being part of this team, just visit wlv.ac.uk and check out their motorsport engineering courses. New fastest lap of the race for Ben Stone in 3rd that time through, 2:22.240. He's only half a second behind Scott Mittel now. There they are in the background. And the 4th and 5th place cars are almost side by side as well. So we've got 2 battles going on in the midfield. There's Stanislaus holding off Stowell behind. There's the fight for 4th position. Will Stowell in 5th place. The car started by Chris Bridle in race 1. He twitches his way through Beckett's there, just exploring the limits on his Praga debut. Here comes the number 4, Ben Stone on the attack. We saw him have a couple of wins last season, driving the Adola Motorsport car then, now with TGM Tim Gray Motorsports. Down into club, on the tail of Scott Mittel. Lead gap is about 7.5 seconds, I would say. It's just over 10 minutes of the race still to go. Still Ruben Stanislaus holding that 4th place. All the Pragas fairly well bunched up together at the moment. Wait to see if John Davis can get going again in the Radical. I didn't see any yellow flags down at club. That's where he spun off, so I assume he's got going again somewhere. But he's a long way behind now, sadly. Here's the fight for 2nd. There's a bit of muck on the road there at the entry to Village, I noticed on the outside. Has that been dropped by the Radical after it rejoined? Running out wide there. Here's Scott Mittel, cuts in through the loop, then through Aintree. Ben Stone is in hot pursuit in the car raced by Ted Wilson earlier on. Still Shane Kelly, plain sailing for him out in front at the moment. See what's happening with the 4th place battle. Well, the gap's opened down just a little there between Stanislaus and Stowell. Ah, there's the Radical, trailing a bit of trim. Look at the state of it. Look at the mud all over it. Looks like he's been rallying. Made a mess of the trim on the side, but John Davis still ploughing on, literally, when he went off. It's almost a lap behind now. So here comes Ben Stone, attacking for 2nd place on the back of Scott Mittel. Up towards Maggots and Beckett's once again. This is the main focus at the moment. Another fastest lap for Ben Stone, 2:22.184. So the lap's not all that quicker. You saw the 77 car slide a little wide there through the 2nd element of Beckett's. Only about 4 or 5 Praga lengths in it now for second place in this Britcar Prototype Cup Race 2. Shane Kelly leading by almost 8 seconds now. Ben Stone flashing the lights at Scott Mittel. He wants to make his way through. But Mittel has every right to defend his position. Stanislaus still fourth, only half a second between himself and Will Stowell now. Reader coming up to lap John Davis. Mittel a little slow through the entry the club there. The Radical does go a lap down. John Davis just happy to have somebody to race with, I think. He's been on his own all race long, and now here comes Stone. He's having a look as they come up to Abbey. I don't think he's going to get through there. No, he doesn't. Here's the fight for fourth. Stanislaus ahead of Stowell. Young Ruben Stanislaus holding on at the moment. They're about 6 seconds back on the second and third place battle, those two. Here's the fight for second. Tighter line through the loop for the number 4 of Ben Stone. Started in race 1 by Teddy Wilson. Down the Wellington Straight. Lapping the Radical of John Davis. There goes Mittel, no problem. Leaving a fairly tight line. We saw what happened in the touring car race previously. What happens if you get onto the standing water on the outside? You get shot straight on, almost into the gravel, as James Everard demonstrated. Now what can Ben Stone do here? He's going for the outside. He's trying to do a Stuart Waite there, coming off the field. But Scott Mittel gets his foot down, keeps it going. Still flashing the lights there, Ben Stone, trying to intimidate the man ahead of him. They're 9 seconds back now because Shane Kelly has just done a new fastest lap. 2:21.640, so lap times are coming down. Will Stowell just did his personal best. 2:23.203, quickest third sector of all from that car. It's impressive from Will on his racing return. Now they're nose to tail for second place. They head out of Beckett's. Can Ben Stone get into the slipstream down the Hanger Straight of the green and black machine here? He's trying, but Mittel covering the inside. It's an intelligent drive by Scott Mittel. A former teacher turned race car builder. Up towards club. Is he going to make a move here, Ben Stone? No, he's not close enough. Shane Kelly being able to pull away as a result of this scrapping behind him. Fourth is still Stanislaus ahead of Stowell. John Davis in the Radical has been lapped. Length of the Hamilton Straight now, almost the lead of the race. Now Ben Stone sizing up a move this time. They go through the standing water on the Hamilton Straight. Again, he's not close enough to attack Scott Mittel for second place. Stanislaus in fourth. Running well, only his second appearance in the Praga. It's Will Stowell behind him, his first ever. Ben Stone and Scott Mittel, the two most experienced drivers in the field. Here comes Stone having a look on the inside. Oh, not quite. You don't very often see passing moves made there. 5 minutes of the race to go. Down the Wellington Straight they come. Who's going to be in second? Mittel comes through on his own. Where's Ben Stone? He's slowing down. Ben Stone has had a problem. We didn't see what happened there on the exit of the loop and Aintree. Did he go off, or did the car momentarily slow on him? We didn't see that. New fastest lap for Shane Kelly. There he is. We haven't forgotten about him. 2:20.68. Leads by nearly 11 seconds now. With just over 4 minutes to go, Shane Kelly's got this race at his mercy for the University of Wolverhampton team. So down to fifth is Ben Stone. He lost about 10 seconds there, so whether he just ran wide onto the grass or whether there was a momentary problem with the car, we didn't see. Still, Shane Kelly continues to dominate for the University of Wolverhampton. This bodes well for the pit stop race later on. Leads Scott Mittel by 10.85 seconds. Stanislaus a further 7.6 seconds back in third position. He's got Will Stowell on his tail, just a couple of seconds back, 1.89 to be precise. Over the standing water, you can see almost a river running across the course there at the Hamilton Straight. Silverstone water splash. We have seen rally stages. The RAC Rally did used to have stages at Silverstone occasionally, and there were water splashes. They had the rally sprint course as well. John Davis incidentally has pulled into the pits in the Radical, so possibly a bit of damage to the underside from when he went off. Hopefully he can get that car back out for the pit stop race. Less than 3 minutes to go now. Waiting for our race leader charging down the straights into Brooklands. There's Scott Mittel on his own in second. What's the gap going to be this time? Are we going to see another fastest lap from the Irishman, Shane Kelly? Keeps his foot in as he comes over the line. 2:21.23 that time through, so not a new fastest lap, but he's still pressing on hard. Be on his final lap now, I think. Ben Stone has recovered. He's having a go at, he's got past Will Stowell. He's having a go at Ruben Stanislaus here. Up over the line, Ben Stone, the more experienced driver, having a go at the man in his second Praga weekend. Stanislaus working to hold him off there. This is good driving by young Ruben. Very talented kart racer. Now here comes Ben Stone. Can he hold off the Tim Gray Motorsport car? Well, Stone has just done the fastest lap, 2:19.346 for Ben Stone. That time through, he's all over Ruben Stanislaus. He wants to get back on the podium. Can Stanislaus hold him off? The pole sitter in this race dropped back to fourth in the early stages. Shane Kelly now 14.5 seconds clear of Scott Mittel. He's all set for victory, barring any major disaster. Here comes Stone. No, you don't, says Ruben Stanislaus into Stowe. Stays clear. Stowell further back in fifth position. Yes, John Davis has rejoined, but a couple of laps down now in the Radical. Ben Stone up the outside. He goes through into club corner. Good move there on the outside, under braking for the complex. And now he's just set his sights on Scott Mittel once again. And Mittel's last lap was about 3.5 seconds off that of Shane Kelly. 2.5 seconds off Mittel's personal best. So Scott Mittel may be starting to struggle on this final lap. I think it will be checkered flag this time. There's John Davis back out. We mustn't forget about the only non-Praga, the Radical RSX. Pitted to remove a bit of flapping trim from the car. Checkered flag will be ready this time for Shane Kelly for the University of Wolverhampton. They are set to pick up their first win of the 2023 Britcar Prototype Cup in the Praga R1. Here he comes out of the final corner, up towards the line. A dominant display by Shane Kelly to take the second win of the day. First for the university team this year. 9 laps completed. We wait to see who's going to come home in second, because Ben Stone is catching Scott Mittel. He's not going to get there though. Mittel comes over in second place. Good recovery by Ben Stone, and he gets the fastest lap on the final lap as well. Fourth goes to Ruben Stanislaus. Fifth is Will Stowell in the number 14. John Davis will finish a couple of laps down in sixth after a pit visit. Fastest lap to Ben Stone, 2:19.146, so lap times really came down towards the end of that race. Good recovery by Stone after dropping back. But no problem for the Flying Irishman, Shane Kelly. Picks up University of Wolverhampton's first victory of the season. Now they'll aim to make it a double in the pit stop race later on. As will the Idola Motorsport team with Ruben Stanislaus and Rodolfo Gonzalez. That'll please Shay here in our YouTube comments. He's watching from Wolverhampton. Whether he's a student at the university, we don't know. John Davis gets over the line 2 laps down. So Shane Kelly takes the win for the University of Wolverhampton by 14.9 seconds from Scott Mittel in his Mittel Cars entry. Third place to Ben Stone for TGM with private leads. He gets the fastest lap of the race, just under half a second off that second place after recovery. Fourth goes to Ruben Stanislaus in the number 18 for Idola Motorsport. His teammate Will Stowell, 3.2 seconds back from him in fifth place. 2 laps down was John Davis in the DW Racing Radical RSX. That concludes the second Prototype Cup race, their second sprint race of the day. And we'll head down to Ian shortly to hear from some of the drivers in Parc Ferme. Next up, it's Britcar Trophy.
Hello everybody, welcome down to Parc Ferme. There is a very happy Shane Kelly, as you can see, getting out of the car. Scott Mittel over on the right, just holding off as well. We've got a crowd over there to our left. We'll just let him go say hello to everybody. First of all, I was just chatting to Jess a minute ago as well, but we'll grab a quick word with Shane as well. Shane, well done, what you got out in front? It was, it's never straightforward, is it? But you looked in control, shall we say?
Yeah, I love the conditions, so yeah, enjoy these conditions. Different every lap, loads of oil at Magnus Beckett's, so it's just sort of avoiding that a little bit. You can smell it as you got to it, and so, but yeah, amazing. Like I said, once we got a rhythm, the guys kept me in check with the gap, and so we didn't have to push too hard. So yeah, unbelievable. Loads of sponsors here today, and you know, half of our team have never been seen a racetrack until this weekend. So,
well, you've got 100% win record now, and never ride a Tucker. You've got to do it all again a little bit later, though. The 50-minute race, a little bit different dynamic with a pit stop.
Yeah, of course. Jess done a mega job this morning, so I think we're strong. Yeah, it's great. We're looking forward to getting in and sharing with Jess, and yeah, just do a good job.
Go on, guys. So you don't want to talk to me. You want to go to celebrate. Go on. Oh, just before you go, what a great race that was, by the way. Something happened out there. I didn't quite see what happened, but you almost got Scott again in the end.
No, I'm Scott.
Sorry, you are Scott. Sorry, Scott. He almost got you. It was getting close, wasn't it? It was getting tight.
Yeah, I just sort of backed off a bit on the last lap, and then I obviously backed off a little bit too much. Saw him in the mirrors, thought I better speed up again here. So yeah, no, it was really good fun racing, and a good first lap with Shane. It was nice, fair racing there. So yeah, we got something wrong. The tyres were awful, to be honest. We had old set of tyres on Friday. The car was brilliant, and in less wet conditions than that, we go about 5 seconds lap faster. So
and the door stayed down this time.
Door was good,
a little bit warmer this time.
Yeah.
Right, well done, Scott. Congratulations. Right, as you can see, podium celebrations about to start down here. However, we've got another race coming up for you, Britcar Trophy, very shortly. Dave, back to you.